Christine?
Good afternoon. A couple of things for my report. Project Assemble, I've been working with them since, gosh, probably June of last year. They looked at a couple buildings, existing buildings. We're looking to expand their facility here. They're originally from Westfield. Unfortunately, they decided they found another building. They're going to put everything all in one there in Westfield. So, bummer for us, but if it's an existing industry, I would be more upset losing an existing industry myself. So, good for them, bad for us. So, unfortunately, that one's off the table. Met with Dr. Dean McCurdy at Ivy Tech, trying to get familiar with him and being the new chancellor for Ivy Tech. So we actually have a regional meeting with him, with all the economic development directors, just to talk about, his goals, and obviously they have a new strategic plan, so we want to better understand the strategic plan and see how it affects our communities and how we can make sure we have people utilizing our Ivy Tech, especially here in Logansport. So I think we're meeting next Friday as a region, or maybe it's Friday after. Attended Advanced Manufacturing Night at the Logan Berry Bowl a couple Fridays ago. It was a good turnout by the industry. Attendance is a good game, I think, but probably being the first year, hopefully next year it'll get a little bit more people from the outside coming in. Maybe we'll pick a different game. Marion's Logan. I don't know if it's a big rivalry or not, but it doesn't seem like it was a huge rivalry. But obviously the governor was here, and it was a big to-do, so that was very nice. And it was great that we actually had a high school recognizing advanced manufacturing, and it's a need in our community, in our region. But so I think they're the first high school to do that. So I thank them for that. Good for Logansport. And then, as you know, we're working on the agribusiness sign. We had a couple of hiccups, and hopefully we're getting those fixed with the sign, and we'll get that out there at the park and have a nice entrance into the agribusiness park here, probably in the next month. They were going to set the sign last week, but we've asked them to hold on so we can make it a little higher with the dip. It's kind of like a bowl right there, and it's hard to see, so trying to get it up a little higher so you can see it a little bit better, especially when you're on the Hoosier Heartland going the posted limit of course 60 miles per hour, which we all know no one goes that slow on that highway. So hopefully we'll get it up, and it'll still, it'll be visible at least.
So they'll call back?
They haven't. No, I expect that probably. Actually, I expected that today, but haven't heard yet back from them. But I'll let you know as soon as I do. Thank you.
Next is the economic development contract. We've completed a performance evaluation, and we've had last year over $17,500,000 increase to the county tax, and that was for 2017. And we need to approve the agreement for the evaluation in the contract to the council.
Motion to approve the contract evaluation.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Recorder?
Good afternoon.
Aye.
This is just some information for you guys. It's nothing that has to be voted on or anything like that, but we've had some issues with our cash drawer being a little short at times, and I just want to let you guys know that I will be submitting a claim to just help us to have ample funds in our cash drawer. I just want to give you a heads up that we'll be doing that. Okay?
Well, with the fees that have changed, that's why you're actually doing that, because the fees weren't that high, and we had to raise the fees for the state, so.
That's correct. Not only that, is people come in and they want to use debit or credit cards, and so we send them down to the ATM machine. When we do that, what do they get out of there? They get 20s. So when we try to make change, they have 20s, and that makes it hard.
Just to make it clear, when you say short, people may think that there's money missing.
No, no, no,
What you're
no.
saying is you didn't have enough money to make the change.
That's what I'm saying with the 20.
Yes.
That's right, that's why I followed
Well, I
that up
wanted
with
to
the
clarify
20.
that, we got a room full of people.
Well, that's why I clarified.
You're already-
No, that's why I clarified it with the 20, with the 20s. That's right, that's correct. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fort County Councilman? Okay. Next, we have public comments. We'll have, meeting will be over at 1:40 and 2 minutes to speak for anybody that'd like to speak. Please come up and state your name and address. Just a second, just a second. The Fort County Counseling was the agreement between the county and Fort County, and we need a positive recommendation for the council for the agreement between county and Fort County.
Yes. Second.
She was in last time.
Right. Yeah. Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, then we're good to go.
Dave Redwick, 5524 North, 600 East, 12 Mile. I just wanted to put in the public record, I'm here today to notify you that I'm providing you with 69 more signatures from the residents and landowners, excuse me, requesting an increase in setbacks for WECS projects. This brings the total number of petition signers to 1,554 citizens who are requesting larger setbacks from a property line for industrial wind projects to protect their property rights. They can almost talk to me. Too much yelling at the Super Bowl last night. Go Eagles. Property values, health and safety. 1,554 citizens who were elected, who you were elected to protect, serve, and according to the mission statement for Cass County. To be completely transparent, the sheet from the online petition is missing due to an issue in their website. We will provide that sheet to you next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Ruth Baker. I live at 1808 West County Road, 500 North, Logansport, Indiana. My husband and I own property in Fulton County. We went to the county commissioners meeting in Fulton County last month to observe the discussion on banning wind turbines. This meeting was held at 6 o'clock in the evening so that the people could attend that meeting. It was a breath of fresh air to watch and observe the dialogue between the commissioners and the audience at that meeting. Comments were made, people asked questions, responses were given in a civilized manner. Now, here are my comments. We believe that we have environmental and energy issues. We believe that these technical matters should be solved using real science. What is real science? Science is not a collection of theorems, but is a process. The core process is the scientific method. The scientific method consists of a hypothesis, namely that wind energy is equivalent to our conventional power sources being subjected to a comprehensive, independent, transparent, empirical-based assessment. The fact is that this has not been done for wind energy. If we have energy and environmental issues, we could have some entrepreneurs claim to have a solution to these issues. We could give them a check for their solution and it'd be done. However, we need to see scientific proof that this solution will be a net societal benefit. Due to aggressive lobbyists pushing for their multinational conglomerate clients, none of this has been done for industrial wind energy. Are we being unreasonable to ask for real scientific proof that this is a net benefit? If we presented this question to the Fulton County Commissioners, they would get back with us and have an answer. We observe them listening to the importance of everyone's voice. Can we say the same for the commissioners of Cass County? We encourage everyone to please visit the commissioners' meeting of Fulton County to watch how they conduct a meeting, listening to what others say, answering questions, respecting people, and remembering to treat people as they would like to be treated. Thank you.
Afternoon. My name is James DeWitt, 3137 West County Road, 800 North Royal Center. I would like to present to you today some more information regarding the lies our community is being told by Red. Brad Lila, Director of Development for RES, told the Miami County Planning Commission that Tipton County received no complaints about their wind farm. I would like to share with you copies of actual complaints filed for Tipton Wildcat Wind Farm. These complaints are very detailed, include health-related issues such as migraines, sleep disturbances, vertigo, and tinnitus. Other complaints detail shadow flicker and noise from homes over 3/4 of a mile away from the turbines. One person writes that the turbines are intrusive, especially in sunlight and at night. Animal issues include dogs barking and howling constantly when turbines are on. Animals refusing to go outside now, and deer are disappearing from the area. Other person reports wildlife is basically gone. Several forms reveal lack of phone and satellite TV service, and individuals have to leave the wind farm area to use their cell phones. One person shares that their doorbells do go off on their own. Individuals also report damage to the drainage tile and broken drainage tile, causing the water to stand in places it did not before. There is also a report of a culvert that had to be replaced due to damage from heavy trucks. There are many complaints of poor roadways and roads not being repaired to how they were previously. Many write that the roads are now gravel and have not been repaved. One person writes, absolutely terrible, just destroyed the roads. Another details how Durbus was just pushed to the side of the road. Yet another person writes that they drive out of their way 2 miles to avoid the gravel. We request that you commissioners review these complaint forms, since RES says there were no complaints in Tipton. But how do you explain these complaint forms? Are you really going to keep trusting this company that keeps lying to you and all of Cass County?
Thank you.
Brian Brown, 4290 North, 650 West, Logansport. After the last meeting, when it was found out that the coal ground had not been signed up like I had previously been told by Commissioner Ladonna it had been, I'd hoped to hear back from him about what it was he saw that made him to believe that. It didn't happen. Mr. Redbrook brought up a good term I'd like to discuss with you today, transparency. Transparent, that means you can see through. If this wind farm you commissioners truly believe is this good for this community, why is there not 100% transparency? Why is the details all not being shared with this community? Instead, you've signed a confidentiality agreement. Confidential, what's that mean? There's stuff you don't want people to know. That leaves people to draw their own conclusions. What conclusion does that lead me to believe? There's a train coming through. It's coming around the bend, and it's not going to be good. If this whole project is really so good, the confidentiality should never need to be signed. The whole terms of this are going to be public record. Why do we have to hide it? Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for letting me speak. Firstly, I'd like to request that,
Your name and address.
excuse me, Leslie Murray, 8288 East, County Road 450 North. Logansport. I'd like to request a correction to the December 18th Commissioner meeting notes. The notes state that I recommended the setbacks for industrial wind turbines be measured from the home and not the property line, which is incorrect. My position has always been that the setbacks should be measured from the property line, otherwise this is trespass zoning, so I'd like you to fix that. I've spoken now and at several commissioner meetings requesting a longer setback, and that the setbacks be measured from a property line and not the nearest residence. The commissioners have presented many citizens' signatures on a petition requesting that the setback be lengthened to a half mile and from a property line and not from a residence. In the meetings, I've cited economic reasons, environmental reasons, health reasons, property devaluation reasons, tax-based reasons, societal reasons, and many, many other reasons why Cass County's current zoning ordinance for industrial wind turbines should be revisited and revised. Our current ordinance is outdated, particularly considering the size of the turbines in the project that are being considered right now, and considering that the information available now to you is so much more than was when the ordinance was originally authored and passed. This has been years, and there's a lot of things that have happened since. I actually was going to touch on a few points that Mrs. Baker touched on, talking about that we all would like, we know we have energy problems, we know we have environmental problems in this country, in the state, in this county, in the city. But what needs to be done is this stuff needs to be answered with real science, and it hasn't been answered like that. There's a lot of information out there. What I wanted to provide you guys today was a list, a report that links.
Thank you.
You can have one.
Yeah, my 2 minutes.
You got 2 minutes.
Whose rule's that, Jim? It's your rule? That's what I thought. Is it your rule that you can't talk about it too?
2 minutes, that's it.
These some links. Thank you, sir.
My name is Bill Hook. I live at 5453 East, 425 North, Logansport, Indiana. I own property in Adams, Bethlehem, and Boone Townships. I also farm in Adams, Bethlehem, and Clay Township. My family's been in Cass County for a long time. The farm that my parents now own has been in my family since 1879. My parents lived in an original house that was built in 1883. My great-grandfather started Slifer Motors in 12 Mile in 1934. So as you can see, we've been here a long time. I need to express my concerns for the setbacks in their current form. No one person or company has the right to tell me or any member of my family what we can and cannot do on our own land. Just as this is a case where I cannot tell somebody else what they can do on their own property. If this project is allowed to go through, that's what's going to happen. I was given a contract by a res salesman. The lease was going to be for 30 years with the possibility of 2 10-year extensions. That's 50 years. In 50 years, I'll be 86. My son will be 59. My daughter 56. I could have grandchildren 40 years of age. I could have great-grandchildren of teenagers. So with this decision you guys are making, it not only affect me, it'll affect my father's life, my children's life, my grandchildren's life, and my great-grandchildren's life. 5 generations could be affected by this decision. So as you can see, this is an emotional decision for me. Because I'm not only thinking of myself, but also of future generations. If any of them would want to build a house, as my wife and I did, on our own property, that location could be determined potentially by my neighbor's turbine location. I don't know how any one of you guys could think that that's acceptable. So I ask you to take careful consideration on the setbacks, not only for me, for the 1,554 people that signed the petition, but also our future generations.
2 minutes, right, thank you.
Good afternoon. I'd like to provide you today information regarding how we know 3049 West, 500 North, Royal Center, Kyle Reed. I'd like to provide you today information regarding how we know the proposed height for res wind turbines. We have obtained emails through public records request of county officials' files to and from res project director Brad White, and an email obtained from Brad to Fulton County's Plan Commissioner Director Casey Coles. Casey writes, "Hello. The local paper wrote an article yesterday and stated southern Fulton County, Miami County, and Cass County with approximately 300 turbines, approximately 100 which would be in southern Fulton County. My understanding there would be between 200 and 300 turbines in Fulton County, and the entire project is 1,500 megawatt, which each turbine being about 1.5 megawatt, which equates to approximately 1,000 turbines, total within all 3 counties. I am understanding this correctly, and is this information for public consumption? I didn't want to correct the paper until I made sure I was correct, and this information to accurate enough to publicize." Brad replies, "Hi Casey, sorry for the delay, I was traveling. The project will likely host between 350 to 416 wind turbines in total. The size of the turbines will likely be 3.6 to 4.2 megawatts. The project fully developed and constructed could be as large as 1,500 megawatts. The turbines over in White and Benton counties are mostly around 1.6 and 1.7. In a separate email, RES tells her the brand of turbines they most commonly use is Vestas. It appears that Fulton County Plan Commission Director was under the impression that Fulton County turbines were only going to be 1.5 megawatt. There is no 1.5 megawatt turbine listed in Vestas manual. However, 2 megawatt turbine is listed at 419 feet tall. So then it would be expected that, however, as you heard, Brad then tells the size will actually be 3.6 to 4.2 megawatt. There is no 3.6 megawatt turbine listed in Vestas website, only 3.45. There are several 4.2 to 3.6 megawatt or 4.2 turbines. As you can easily see in printouts we're providing you, the 4.2 megawatt Vestas turbine is describing having a 73.7 meter long blades. That is. Well, anyways, here's the emails.
Thank you.
The newspaper takes note of this.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Sarah Craig, 5684 North, County Road 600 East, in 12 Mile, Indiana. I just want to point out that the number that these people have presented today, 1,554 signatures of people that would love to have an evening meeting, that would love to hear why everyone thinks this is so great, aside from just the money, that would love to be guaranteed that their health, their safety, and their well-being, and their finances, because everybody's finances are tied up in your home. If you own a home, that's just the way it is. We would like guarantees. And based on that number, 554 people, I would just like to point out that the entire population of Boone Township is 1,439 people. That's an awful lot. That's an entire school district. It's a lot. We just want answers.
Troy Atchison from 105 West Dunn Street in Fulton. My grandmother has property in Cass County, and Mr. Reed didn't get to finish his speech, so I'm going to come up here and finish it for him. As you can easily see, the printouts that he provided The 4.2 megawatt Vestas turbines described having 73.7 meter long blades and the industry's tallest tower stretching nearly a quarter of a kilometer into the air. A quarter of a kilometer is 820 feet. It must also be noted that the sound power level for the 4.2 turbine is 104.9 decibels. The World Health Organization recommends a sound level of no greater than 40 decibels. Finally, let's note how small Lila admits the Benton and White County turbines are at 1.6 to 1.7. How it is safe and appropriate then that wind towers, or the wind ordinance is based in White counties, the turbines, and tells us the setbacks paired with 820 foot turbines in a populated area cannot possibly be safe, nor can they guarantee that the property rights will not be stolen. If the commissioners cannot see this, then we must seriously question the ability for you guys to make decisions for Cass County.
Evan Criswell, 8339 North, County Road 350 West, Royal Center, Indiana. I just want to point out why we've been sitting here. One of the demonstrations fell over of the wind turbines, and I think we need to evaluate that into our setbacks, and remember they do fall over.
Brent Thomas, 6528 North, 900 East, 12 Mile, Indiana. Start with a quote today from billionaire Warren Buffett. I'm sure you've heard this before, but quote, "I will do anything that is basically covered by the law to reduce Berkshire's tax rate," which is the company. For example, on wind energy, we get tax credit if we build a lot of wind farms. That's the only reason to build them. They don't make sense without tax credit. According to Warren Buffett, there is no reason to build wind turbines. Not for green energy, not for sustainable energy, not for lowering electric bills, not for creating jobs, and not for the reduction in use of coal, gas, or oil. There is no reason except for tax credits and other forms of financial incentives. RES sales reps have been going around this county for several months now trying to sign up landowners under false pretenses. In other words, they have lied. They have said that Tipton County has 0 complaints about their wind project, and we know that this is a lie because I have seen several complaints that were filed. A project by RES in Canada has ruined underground private wells and has done next to nothing to fix the problem. RES consistently tries to compare this project to projects in neighboring counties, but this cannot be done. There is no comparison anywhere in the United States. RES has also had private meetings in which only landowners that have signed a lease or possible signers were invited. Our commissioners were there for a presentation, but why wasn't the whole community invited? What is RES trying to hide? We are told that you commissioners can't talk about the project, but the director of the development for RES can privately invite a select few from the community and answer all their questions and concerns. But the rest of the community is unable to get one single question answered. In my opinion, that is a gross misrepresentation of the community when all 3 of you show up to an exclusive event by RES. Let's not forget, only Commissioner Anderson showed up to a public event hosted for the entire county.
Thank you.
Ashley Berry, 5227 North, State Road 25. And I'm not going to talk, we don't have time, but I want to pass out the article that was in the Paris Tribune that I wrote.
I suppose you got time for me. All three of you know me. Alan Hanna, Logan Sport, Indiana, 2 miles south of Lucerne, County Road 200 west and 500 north, 4937 north, 200 west, that's what it is. I got this sale bill through the mail down your neck of the woods, 117 acres, 2 tracks. Okay, that's down there, what did they say? Well, anyway, down that way, west of Walton. And the things here is the property information, locations, school, and breakdown. But then it's got taxes and how much it is on that farm and everything else. Ditch assessment. Okay, zoning. It says agricultural. I thought is agricultural zoning is down south of Logan Sport and no zoning north of Logan Sport? I don't quite understand. I thought where I live was always farm. We raise food. We don't. And how did these industrial wind turbines constitute agriculture? What they got to do with agriculture? I don't understand that. It has a zoning. Logan Sport's got zoning around here. I don't understand this. I thought I was in the agriculture. I'm 81 years old, and it's been agriculture as far as I know. This is farm ground, not wind turbines. And it just seemed like everything's confidential, and it's secret. Everything is so secret. And, you know, that raised a red flag with me, and I'm about done. You know, I tell you what, I think there's a rattlesnake in the woods.
Hi, I'm James Thompson, 919 Marlton Road, Logan Sport. I just wanted to give you a series of letters from local tradesmen about the project.
You want to take over? You want to take over?
Thank you.
Laura Redwick, 5524 North, County Road 600 East, 12 Mile, Indiana. I first want to say, this is all done to scale. We keep getting compared to Benton County as far as the size of the turbine. That is the small one for Benton County. What is being proposed by RES is the 600 to 800 feet. You've got 600 feet there in the medium and 800 feet. That's 820 feet. That is a 22-foot tall home. Now, think about that. Does that even make sense? So what I did want to talk about was, because one of the things you guys are in confidentiality talks with, was decommissioning. So what really struck out with me on the newspaper article is when Brad Lila brought up about surety bonds. I've had a kind of crash course on surety bonds. So from what I understand is, it is like a life insurance policy, and you have to pay the premiums. If somebody defaults, there's no money. That's not good business. Because if this company goes bankrupt and they don't pay, we're on the hook. Cass County's on the hook. So what needs to be done is, there's been estimates in Michigan, so we're still Midwest. And so it claims to be about, it's about 500,000 per, $500,000 per turbine for decommissioning. That's not just decommissioning, it's the entire dismantling and removal and full restoration. Each one of those turbines that is proposed here needs to have that 500, or that, I'm sorry, that $500,000 money put into a bank, and then it needs to be paid up front, cash, 3% every year for increases, for costs. There's no other reason to do anything, because you cannot trust a thing that anybody says. So that money has to be there ahead of time in case anything happens. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.